Revolutionize them. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to lean in right now because what I'm about to share with you can change your financial destiny forever. If you've ever felt stuck in the middle class, paycheck to paycheck, working harder but not getting ahead, this is for you. This is not about working more hours. This is about working on a different level because the truth is the middle class is not a destination, it's a transition point. And today, I'm going to show you how to move from just surviving to thriving to building generational wealth. Listen to me carefully because this right here is the shift that changes everything. Most people spend their entire lives trading hours for dollars. They wake up, punch the clock, give their time away, and at the end of the week, they collect a paycheck that barely covers their bills. That's the middle class trap. It feels safe, then it feels predictable, but it's secretly the reason most people never experience financial freedom. The marketplace does not reward you for your time. It rewards you for the value you bring during that time. That's why two people can work the exact same number of hours, but one makes 10 times what the other one makes. The difference is not the clock, it's the contribution. Here's the hook: you are not paid by the hour, you are paid for the hour. The hour is just a container. What you put inside that container determines its worth. If you fill your hour with low value activities, the marketplace will reward you with low value pay. But if you fill that same hour with problem solving, creativity, leadership, and results that matter, you can get paid exponentially more. Imagine spending 1 hour helping someone make $1 million. Do you think that hour is worth more than minimum wage? Of course it is. Wealthy people understand this principle, and that's why they focus on increasing their value, not their hours. Here's where the middle class gets stuck. They think the only way to make more money is to work more hours. They look for overtime, side jobs, anything that allows them to squeeze a few more dollars out of their time, but there's a ceiling to how many hours you can work. You can't work 25 hours in a day. But there is no ceiling on the value you can create. That's why the wealthy spend their time learning skills that allow them to solve bigger problems, because big problems equal big paychecks. Think about this: a janitor and a brain surgeon both have 24 hours in a day. And the brain surgeon just figured out how to make each of her hours worth hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands, not because she's more special as a person, but because she invested time and money to acquire specialized knowledge that solves an urgent problem. And people pay big money to have big problems solved. So if you want to escape the middle class, you must start asking a different question. Stop asking, how much does this job pay? And start asking, how much value can I create in this role? How much transformation can I deliver to the people I serve? Another hook for you: wealth does not follow effort. Wealth follows value. You can work hard digging ditches all day, but if the marketplace doesn't highly value ditch digging, you will still struggle financially. The goal is not just to work harder, it's to work on things that matter more. Shift your focus from labor to leverage. Learn to package your knowledge, your skills, and your solutions in ways that allow you to serve more people in less time. That's how you break free. When you stop trading time for money and start trading value for money, everything changes. Your earning potential stops being limited by the clock and starts being expanded by your creativity. You stop working to survive and start working to thrive. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to wait for permission. You can start right now by asking, how can I be more valuable today than I was yesterday? That's the first step toward creating wealth on your terms. Most people don't realize this, but money is supposed to be a tool, not a taskmaster. Yet, for the vast majority of people in the middle class, money feels like the boss. They wake up thinking about bills. They go to work because of bills. They go to bed worrying about bills. That's not freedom. That's financial slavery. And the reason so many stay trapped is because they never learn the most important money principle. Money is to work for you, not the other way around. Here's the hook: if your money isn't working while you're sleeping, you will work until you die. That might sound intense, but it's true. You see, most people only know one way to get money. They trade effort for it. And because they never learn how to put that money to work, they spend their entire lives in the same cycle: earns, repeat. The wealthy play a different game. They see money as a seed. They don't just spend it, they plant it. They invest it in vehicles that multiply over time. That's why they can step away from working and still have income flowing in. Their money has become their employee. If you want to break out of the middle class trap, you must rewire your relationship with money. Stop thinking of it as something you use only to pay bills and start thinking of it as something you can deploy to create freedom. Every dollar you earn has a job, and if you're not giving it a job, it will go work for someone else. The bank will gladly take your money and pay you less than 1% interest while they turn around and lend it to someone else for 7% or more. You have to flip that script. Here's another hook. Your dollars should be the hardest working members of your team. They should be out in the marketplace 24/7, generating income, creating opportunities, multiplying themselves. But to make that happen, you must learn to manage and multiply money like the wealthy do. That means creating a margin between what you earn and what you spend, and using that margin to acquire assets, not liabilities. Assets put money in your pocket, and liabilities take money out of your pocket. The middle class often buys things that look good but cost them freedom: the new car, the big house, the gadgets and toys that lose value the moment they buy them. The wealthy buy assets that make them money: real estate that pays rent, businesses that produce cash flow, intellectual property that earns royalties. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to stop asking, can I afford it? And start asking, will this make me money or cost me money? That question alone can keep you from staying broke. And it's not just about cutting spending. It's about redirecting your dollars toward opportunities that work for you. Because here's the truth, money is always moving. It's either moving toward you or away from you. And if you don't have a plan for it, somebody else does. When you finally get this, money stops feeling like a source of stress and starts feeling like a source of strategy. You stop living paycheck to paycheck and start building paycheck to paycheck. Instead of working harder for money, you let your money work harder for you. And that's how you create the freedom to live life on your terms, not chained to someone else's schedule. Here's the truth most people never hear. Your income is a direct reflection of who you are today, not who you want to be. You are not paid for your potential. You are paid for your performance, and your performance is determined by your mindset and skill set. If you want to change your financial life, you must first change you. You cannot create a millionaire lifestyle with a middle-class mindset. You cannot lead a business to the next level with the same thinking that created your current level. Here's the hook. Your income will almost never exceed your personal development. If you are earning $50,000 a year, it is because you are currently a $52,000 a year person in terms of mindset, decision-making, and value creation. That's not an insult. That's an invitation. Because if you grow, your income will grow with you. The most powerful investment you can ever make is not in the stock market, not in real estate, not in crypto. It's in yourself. Because when you grow, everything you touch grows. The problem is that most people stop growing after school. They graduate, get a job, and think education is over. But the marketplace is always changing, always evolving, always rewarding those who stay sharp. If you want to stay ahead, you must become a lifelong learner, read books that expand your mind, attend seminars that challenge your thinking, hire mentors who are where you want to be. Don't just consume entertainment, consume education that upgrades your operating system. Another hook for you, you cannot outperform the story you believe about yourself. If you secretly believe you're not worthy of wealth, you will sabotage opportunities. If you believe rich people are greedy, you will subconsciously push money away. That's why mindset is so critical. You have to rewrite your money story. You have to see yourself as someone who is capable of handling abundance, capable of creating solutions, capable of being wealthy without guilt or fear. And skill set matters just as much as mindset. You can believe in yourself all day long, but if you don't know how to solve valuable problems, the marketplace won't reward you. This is where you learn to develop high income skills. Communication, then leadership, sales, marketing, negotiation, financial literacy, these are the skills that move the needle. They allow you to turn ideas into income. They allow you to build leverage so that your effort multiplies instead of being capped. Surround yourself with people who think bigger than you, who challenge you to level up. If you are the smartest, richest person in your circle is too small. Proximity is power. Get around people who normalize success, them who stretch your vision, who make you uncomfortable in the best way. Because here's another hook. Your environment will always try to pull you back to the level of your peers unless you intentionally choose peers who are already where you want to go. Growth is not always comfortable, but it is always worth it. The moment you start seeing challenges as opportunities to grow instead of obstacles to fear, you unlock your next level. Every setback becomes a setup. Every problem becomes a paycheck. And as you grow in mindset and skill set, you stop waiting for circumstances to change, you become the change. And that is the most powerful shift you can ever make on the journey from middle class to wealth. Too many people are living for the weekend instead of living for their legacy. They go to work, pay the bills, maybe save a little if there's anything left, and repeat the cycle until retirement. That is not wealth. That is survival with a slightly nicer couch. The problem is most of us have been conditioned to think short term. Revolutionize them. We think about getting through the month instead of building for the next generation. If you want to create real wealth, you have to start thinking beyond yourself. You have to start making decisions not just for today, but for tomorrow, for 10 years from now, for your children and your children's children. Here's the hook. Wealth is not about what you make. It's about what you keep and what you pass on. A person who makes $1 million a year but spends it all is no wealthier than the person making $50,000 with nothing left over. True wealth is measured by freedom and legacy, not just income. This means creating systems that will outlive you, building assets that keep producing long after you're gone, setting up structures that your family can benefit from for generations. This shift from survival to legacy starts with a decision. You have to decide that you will no longer settle for a lifestyle that just gets you by. You have to refuse to let the cycle of debt scarcity and financial stress continue to the next generation. Because here's another hook. Them. You are either passing down wealth or you are passing down struggle. There is no in between. If your children have to start from scratch every generation, then no matter how hard you worked, the cycle resets. When you focus on generational wealth, you stop chasing instant gratification. You start prioritizing delayed gratification. You stop asking, what can I buy? And start asking, what can I build? You begin to view every financial decision through the lens of legacy. That new car might make you feel good for a moment, but that rental property you could buy instead will feed your family for decades. That fancy vacation might give you memories for a week, but the business you could start will give your children options for life. Another powerful truth is that legacy is not just about money, it's about mindset. If you pass down money but not wisdom, the wealth will disappear. Studies show most generational wealth is gone by the third generation because the mindset wasn't passed down with the money. That's why you must teach your family financial literacy, entrepreneurship, generosity, and stewardship. Show them by example how to create, grow, and protect wealth. And you don't have to wait until you're rich to start. Legacy building begins with small steps, saving consistently, investing wisely, creating multiple streams of income. Revolutionize them, protecting your assets with the right structures, and teaching your children along the way. Because here's the hook: your future generations are depending on the decisions you make today. Every dollar you put to work now is a dollar that can grow and multiply over time. Every lesson you teach now is a lesson your family won't have to learn the hard way. When you embrace this way of thinking, money stops being just about survival and becomes a tool for impact. You start asking bigger questions. How can I bless my family? How can I create opportunities for others? How can I leave the world better than I found it? And when you live with that vision, wealth stops being something you chase. It becomes something you build, something you protect, and something you pass on as part of the legacy you were created to leave. So here's my challenge to you. Stop settling for middle-class thinking. You were not created to just pay bills and die. You were created to live in abundance, to leave a legacy. Decide today that you will take control of your financial future. Decide that you will learn, grow, and become wealthy, not just for you, but for your children and your children's children. The ultimate path to wealth is right in front of you. The question is, will you take the first step?